Congratulations on finishing your last portfolio assignment from Module 6. Um, and it was so great to read about your reflections on most of you using Twitter. And I think one or two used Google Hangouts. Congratulations. I know that a lot of you were sort of reticent newcomers to Twitter, and it's for me, it is the most powerful professional development engine that I have ever had. And 4 years ago, I was absolutely unequivocally opposed to using Twitter until I was placed in a position where I had to create one in order to apply for something that I really wanted. And when I did, it was, and I'm trying not to be dramatic about this, but it truly was life-changing. And I can say without a doubt that my life is much better for the relationships that I've developed initially on Twitter, and then those branched into real-life relationships. And I can also say that I wouldn't be where I am today professionally and in the job that I have if it weren't for Twitter. Quite literally, I learned about the position at the county office from a friend of mine who was on Twitter, and he posted the link to it, and I was not looking for another job. I loved my job, but that sort of set a series of events in place, and everything is wonderful now because I get to work with people like you and see the great ideas that you have and read all the fantastic lesson plans that you guys are creating and sort of dipping your toe into saying, I don't know if it's going to work, but let's see. And that's what this is all about. You don't know if it's going to work, but let's see. And then you're going to learn and make it better. Make it better for our kids. So you'll see I put a little comic up today on this week's screencast just because I found it and it's funny. It was from the Google Apps for Education Summit that was held the weekend before last and in Palo Alto. So if you were able to go to that, then this might look familiar, and if you're not, then I hope you enjoy it. Going into Module 7, you're going to be talking about learning environments. Now there's a discussion, typical discussion, and then there's an activity prompt, and I've already gotten the question, in creating the mind map, do you have to sort of evaluate all of these particular learning environment scenarios? And the answer is yes. So using an online mind mapping tool, look at each of those, and one way that it's worked for me, but you can go in whatever direction you want, is to sort of create a chart, if you will, of advantages and disadvantages to each of the different scenarios, and then see how those fit together and see how those compare to one another once you kind of map it out a little bit. So you can use lots of different options. Google Drawings has gotten a lot better in terms of functionality, and so it might be worthwhile jumping into a little bit. I know that Megan used Drawings earlier with an earlier activity, and so don't mean to put her on the spot, but she knows how to use it. MindMeister, Poplet, Bubblus, Spider Scribe. So MindMeister is another one of my favorites. I like MindMeister. Another one that is not listed here, but I would suggest is Mindomo, Mindomo, and it's I like using that one as well. So play around with that, see how it goes. So it is going to take you a little bit longer than your average activity, but you don't have a portfolio assignment, so yay, it's a trade-off. Go ahead and look back on your old assignments, make sure everything's up to date in terms of grading. I know that I'm a little behind in terms of work that was turned in past the due date, so I'm going to try to hammer that out by the end of this week. Next Thursday, August 7th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., we're going to have a face-to-face wrap-up meeting. It's strongly encouraged that you attend if you can. It's going to be in the Redwood Middle School Library Computer Lab again. But if you can't, I can create a screencast that will go over some of what we're covering, but just as many of you noted in your previous module, it's just as important to have some of the online asynchronous communication as it is to have the face-to-face synchronous communication. And so to ensure that everybody gets done with what they need to get done with and we're all done on time and you can start the school year and not have to have this hanging over your head and yay, go forth and be digital educators, I'd really, really strongly encourage that you come. And I can give you all of the sort of, okay, here's how we wrap this up. It's kind of sad because I feel like I've gotten to know many of you and have seen a lot of great growth and opening of eyes in different ways. So with that, again, that's August 7th, next Thursday at Redwood Middle School Computer Lab in the library from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Shoot me an email if you know you're not going to be able to come. And other than that, if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye!